Welcome to another Value Monday. Today with the most important things you need to know about investing and what is actually investing and what is trading and what is the difference and what should I focus on. Me as an investor and trader, I'm going to give you an honest review in between investing and trading, explain you what it is and what you should do and what you shouldn't do, and does it really make sense or not to learn investing or trading or only investing. With that being said, I'm a trader and investor, self-taught, at the same time have a mentor than more than 6 years, and I'm trading and investing daily. I'm a forex trader, a swing trader. I use the same system to trade the crypto markets too, the CFD markets in general, and then also all the other markets such as stock market and gold and silver. From top to bottom, I basically trade and invest everywhere and use everything, mainly in the forex and crypto space. But I also invest obviously into all of these markets, stocks, watches, so physical assets, non-physical assets, gold, silver, crypto. It's my largest portfolio. Risky, not risky, I have it all, and I want to give you my honest review about investing and trading. On top of that, I educate people myself. I'm the founder of the largest trading community called TPR in Europe, since 7 years strong and many more years to come. And by 2025, we will take the title, the largest trading community in the world. I'm 100% sure when it comes to that. Now, number one is very important. What is investing and trading actually? Okay, so investing, to start off with investing, very easy to understand, is a long-term approach of you adding value, using your money, your currency, and giving it to a company, putting it into an asset, and wait until price increases, right? How can price increase and how is price moved? Supply and demand, right? Supply and demand means how much do we have in one of these goods, how much gold, how much silver, how much currency, how much Bitcoin, how much whatever do we have in watches, and how much people want to buy it, and that will increase or decrease price depending if we have more demand or less supply. So the price reflected for a good, for an object, for an asset, it doesn't matter what it is the fair balance in between offer and request. Offer is supply and demand, right? So that is basically price. Now, if we have less supply and we have the same demand, then maybe price will go up. If we have the same supply and we have less demand, then price will go down, for example, just for you to understand how price really moves. Now, for example, in the currency markets, depending on economical decisions, depending on wars, depending on purchases of big companies, currencies such as euro, US dollar, for example, how much US dollar do we need to get and purchase 1 euro, will increase or decrease, right? So that's what makes markets moves. And investing means we buy low and we sell high. That's the easiest principle, the Blash principle, basically, for investing and adding value and getting more out of it, right? So for example, let's say we would use a fundamental and technical approach. These are the two major approaches. We will use a fundamental approach in investing, which would be, I predict that Bitcoin, for example, is going to be worth more over the next couple of years. Why? Because fundamentally, okay, Bitcoin is going to increase because of the ETF. More people are investing into it. Second of all, Bitcoin has a max supply of 21 million, where 5-6 million are already gone, right? So we have a capped and fixed supply, right? Another way and another reason why we would maybe invest into Bitcoin is because it's an easier way to invest in it if you compare it to gold. So Bitcoin is kind of the digital gold, right? So that's a fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis is kind of asking yourself, will price increase or decrease, and why fundamentally? Because of news, because of different behavior of investors. Now, technical analysis is then when we go more into the trading side, whether investing and trading, the biggest comparison and the biggest difference is that investing is a more long-term approach and trading is a short-term approach, where you will stay in the market for a couple of hours or days, and investing you stay in the market for a month or even years, okay? Long-term, short-term. Now, trading will be based more on you going into the chart, which is more like technical analysis, okay? If you want to invest fundamentally, you say, I think Bitcoin is going to go higher because of this and this and this. I think gold is going to increase because of this and this. I think that oil is going to increase because of this and this and this, right? So you buy it and you hold it. For example, you buy 20 euros per whatever the measurement is, okay? 20 euros is 1x, and after 2 years, this 1x is then worth $40. So now we went from $20, we bought low, we sell high, we made an extra $20 on added value, the money that we're getting back. Trading is going to be more an approach where you go into the chart, right? For the fundamental, you don't need to chart really. You just need to know where price is and where it can go. Now, technical chart analysis is more like the trading side, where you go into the chart and you use different tools to predict where price goes, right? Now, the chart only shows us the past, and with the past, we try to predict the future using different tools such as, for example, Fibonacci, Elliott waves. You can use indicators, which I'm not a big fan of. I only use the EMA 200, which is the moving average of the last 200 candles. So kind of gives us a prediction where could price move to. So there's different ways, right? Technical analysis is something that I do with the so-called SK system, but also fundamental analysis. So I use both, but I also do both. But when it comes to investing and trading, these are the major differences. And in the approach of technical analysis, you will use these tools to identify a very precise entry zone, and then where price moves out, and then you sell again when you make a couple of points or percentages. So it's more a short-term approach, but it's also a more difficult approach because you need to have way more knowledge than just like the fundamentals and say, okay, how do I buy? When do I get in? When do I get out? And why? Now, both combined, fundamental analysis and technical analysis, make you basically invincible, is what I say. Using both makes you very, very strong. Now, question number 2, should I invest or trade? I am a big fan of knowing both of the skills. I think if you really want to become very successful in this world of investing and trading and using money to make more money, right? Because that's basically what we do. It is obviously the more skill you have, the better. But if there is something that you have to choose from, because you will always succeed in financial, geographic, and time freedom, and that's what we always focus on. Every video is focused on you learning, getting more information to become financially, geographically, and time free. All of this information used to achieve this goal, obviously I would choose investing over trading. Why? Because most likely you will make more money in investing and you'll need less skill. Again, if you can, learn both. You don't need to become the best trader. Learn a system such as, for example, the SK system, the system that we teach for a very low price monthly to learn the system, right? But it will take you some time, but you don't need to trade the system, understand the system on expert level to make money with it. Because if you use it for investing, you will have very precise entries and very precise exits, right? If that's something you want to do, let me know. I'm happy to onboard you into our community for you to learn the SK system. And based on what you want to have, if you want to become an expert, if you just want to know the basics so you can know how to invest and how it works, risk management, money management, all of these things are also very important, because learning the skill of trading and buying something because you think it goes up and down is obviously one part of trading and investing and making money on the markets. But one of the most important part is going to be you having the right and strong psychology and psyche at the end of the day to hold your risk management and your money management. It means how much money do you use, how high is your position and percentage going to be, when do you close, when do you open, all of these things, right? So risk and money management, the psychology behind trading, the emotional stability that you have to bring with you is one of the most important things, which accounts to 80% of the profits or losses when it comes to a trader. The skill set, the fundamental and the technicals are like 20%, right? So don't get fooled by people just saying, oh, you just need a system, or the only thing you need is to know if price goes up or down. That's like 20%. But 80%, the profitability comes from you knowing how to really invest money, how high the risk should be, and all of these things, right? So with that being said, understand that in point number 2, if you can choose in between trading and investing, and if you are dedicated already building your social media agency, if you are dedicated build your Amazon FBA, whatever it is, right? Then truly you should maybe not deviate and learn trading now, because it would take too much time, but you should still learn the basics of trading and you should invest into different assets, right? If you want to find out what I invest into, I will put the link below in the description. And if you want to learn how to trade and invest, again, you can become part of the TPR community today, and you will be educated by experts in that, and we cover all of the different markets, okay? Also, what we need to add to point number 2 is that investing is way easier, it is way less headache, and you can do it pretty fast. Let's say, for example, you open a Coinbase account, you invest $1,000 into Bitcoin, you let it run over the next 2 or 3 years, you make a lot of profit, you pay it out, that's it. Trading is going to be an approach where you have to be more on the chart. I realistically spend half an hour to hour every day on a chart when I'm trading, and that's it, right? Some people trade 4, 5, 6, 7 hours, 16 hours. There's different ways on how to do it, but I try to keep a very low approach in front of the computer. I try to spend as little time as possible in front of the computer, because I just don't want to waste my life away in front of the computer just for a couple of more percentages. And if I'm very honest, which is very important for me, for you to understand, if I compare trading to investing, most of the money, the percentages, comes from investing and not from trading nowadays, okay? There are some months and there are some investments where I traded and I made a lot of money, but if I go and see the last 6-7 years, I made way more money with just investing and not trading, more the long-term approach instead of the short-term approach. Number 4 is in what can you invest. This will be a little bit of a shorter form in what you can invest. As I already said, investing in general is very, very smart, and I would always invest in goods, in assets, and in things that obviously we foresee the price increases. How are the markers to foresee if price increases? Again, if something gets more scarce, if something increases in value, if something is more needed in the economy. I'll give you an example. Bitcoin, for example, is something that I'm currently really investing into and applying and buying more. Why? Because we have a fixed supply of 21 million Bitcoins, right? And this is not an investment advice. I'm not an investment advisor. This is my opinion. That's what I do. I am buying Bitcoin on the fundamental side because we are capped at 21 million. We cannot have more than that. So it's kind of combating inflation in that sense because we only have 21 million Bitcoins, right? Then we also have Bitcoin and the knowledge about Bitcoin with the ETF, right? The ETF was approved a couple of days ago. That means big old money is now open for the markets and most likely gonna invest into, because the rich will always have a playground where they can make more money and increase prices. And the big hedge funds, the big asset managers, they always need a product. They always need a new playground to promote and sell to the wealthy and rich so they can make more percentages. And that is very most likely gonna be Bitcoin, right? That's number 2. And then we have number 3 is that we are changing anyways from a cash society into a cashless, more digital society. Everything is digital already. Why not our money? We're going anyways into this direction in future. And on top of that, we also have the knowledge that at the end of the day, Bitcoin is the money of the people. It's still something that people trust a lot into. And that's why I want to have a part in this asset. So that's why, for example, I invest into Bitcoin. Okay. That's, for example, one thing that I invest into. Now getting into where do I enter the market? Where do I buy and sell? This is going to be more of a trading like kind of style. So you have a little bit of an explanation on that, the difference between trading and investing in. Now, when it comes to trading, I will go and use my system to analyze when to go into the market, when to buy, when to sell, when to buy again to increase my holdings. Because you can either just buy the position and hold one Bitcoin, or I can buy the position with one Bitcoin and then trade it up and increase, okay, buying and selling and rebuying, right? So let's say, for example, I enter here one Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes up to, let's say, 100%. Now I have 2 Bitcoins. Now I wait until market drops for 50%. I sell 1 Bitcoin and then I rebuy again for 50% less, right? So now I have 2.5 Bitcoin, accumulating more Bitcoins by selling at high prices and rebuying when price drops. For that, you need to know when price goes up and down. That's the trading side, okay? So that's why I buy and invest into crypto, and that's how I trade it, so you know what I invest into, what you can invest to. On top of that, you have the more stable kind of investment, which are ETFs, the exchange trade funds, right? ETFs are indexes that you can buy different stocks or different areas in the world. Let's say, for example, you want to go into the economical area in terms of stocks for Technic and AI and future. You can invest into that. You can invest into a stock index or like an ETF that is more focused on renewable energy. Whatever you think and whatever you want to support, you can invest into. I'm a big fan of buying stocks myself, especially stocks that are focused on virtual reality, everything that has to do with AI in general. So I would research, and if you want to find out, I have all the stocks in my free Telegram group. Just click on link below, click on community on Telegram. You will get all the entries that I enter in anyways, completely free. And I have a value channel on broadcast on Instagram where I also share all of this information. So I especially most likely right now and still in the future will increase more holdings in the same positions in the stock market, which is, for example, everything that has to do again with AI, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, online, everything that helps to build out these spaces on how can we make the world more virtual and easy to grasp and understand on the online world, and Web 3.0, the future of the internet, right? So that's what I focus on investing to, because I see a lot of opportunity fundamentally that the market and these companies are going to do very well. Software companies that develop the processors, such as, for example, Nvidia, is the craziest stock that I bought in the beginning of the year, which made over 280%, and I invested into it, right? So these stocks have a lot of potential because they, at the end of the day, are leading the financial future and the economical future at the end of the day, and with it, then also the financial future, okay? So stocks is something that I invest to. Crypto stocks. Then I love watches, for example. Watches is kind of a hobby combination with preserving capital, but also diversifying. I cannot only be very risky. I'm very risky, like 90%, 80% of my portfolio is invested in very risky assets because I have the opportunity to do that. I'm very young. I don't have that much of responsibility in terms of money. I have a lot of cash flow, different cash flow coming in from different points, different businesses. So I can go very risky. You will have to either increase or obviously lower the risk depending on where you see yourself in life, right? How much risk can you put up with? But the risk level has to do with yourself, how much skill you have, what kind of assets you go into, and all of these things. But knowing that at the end of the day, I also invest into stocks. Also, stocks is like a more chill way, it's an easy way, but then you can go riskier or less risky depending on what you invest into. If you want to prevail capital, combat inflation, for example, that eats up your money, or if you really want to make money and get like these cheap entries in stocks. For example, there's a lot of electronical car companies that are coming out, especially in China, where they had their IPOs, their initial public offerings, where you can buy stocks for like $2, $3 and be there. And maybe it's going to be the future company, the next Tesla, and then it goes up to $400, $500, $600. And obviously buying for $2 or something is something that I'm anticipating and doing. Now, again, with that being said, all the information of these trades are in my Telegram group for free. I cannot cover all of this, would be too much. Okay, so these are some assets, these are some things that I invest into. Besides, I have gold, I have silver, and whatsoever. I'm just like very diversified. You will need to have to start somewhere. Start the easiest way, depending on how much risk you can put in. If you have to go low, then go with stocks. If you can go higher risk, then go with crypto, is what I would say. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is my opinion. Now, point number 5 is, if you want to learn about trading and investing, please do me a favor and find a good source where you learn this, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of different ways. And what I hear a lot of times is, hey, let me watch a couple of YouTube videos. Hey, let me follow this one Telegram group. Hey, I also have a Telegram group, but I'm not saying like you should just do whatever I do. You have to learn. That's what I always say. Learn the skill. Again, you don't have to become a trader. You don't have to become the top investor yourself. But I also wouldn't go through life just trusting people and giving people money and let them do it, because obviously you will always have to pay a very big percentage. But you can also diversify. You can give half of your money to someone to take care of it, other half of the money you can manage yourself, then after a couple of years see. But I think an entrepreneur that makes a lot of money but has no idea about investing and trading, so does not know how to manage, prevail, or even multiply money, is a complete geek in my eyes. Because just making money on one point doesn't mean that you are stable enough. Just because you make a lot of money, money can be taken away very fast. Cash flow can be cut in half very fast. Cash flow can be stopped. It's a flow, and a flow can always be stopped. But what is harder to stop is you being diversified in different markets, right? I'll give you a couple of examples. I had a month where, let's say, out of my 10 big investments, 5 of them were going down and 5 of them were going up. Every time something goes down, something else pushes. There will always be a playground for the wealthy to make more money with their money. You just have to identify and find it and know the principles of investing and trading. So look for a community and a mentorship such as we have it in the TPR community, the best trading community where you learn about trading. Be smart about who is your mentor. Does he have factual results? Yes or no? Is he transparent with this information? That's why I focus on being very transparent, because transparency, once you're transparent in the finance market, it's all for you to take, right? That's the only thing. The more transparent you are, obviously, the more pressure you put on yourself, but the more people trust you. That's why I focus so much with TPR on transparency and my personal money and whatsoever. I talk on YouTube how much money I make, how much money I spend. I post on Instagram, everything, right? Even though it's most likely to my detriment most of the times, because I'm putting myself in risk, right? But I'm doing it because that's also my biggest upside. Then understand that if you want to learn trading and investing, follow a system that works and is not that hard to follow, but also a system that has a good outcome. There are so many systems that you can learn and spend years on, but then you will find common problems, such as the system is not as defined as it should be. There's still lack of emotion. You still have enough place to put emotions into it. So a system should be defined until its very last step. If the trader that teaches you, if the system that you're learning cannot define the first step on how you get into the market until the last step, then it's not a system. And once it's not a system, it will always leave room for emotion. And emotion is what we don't want to have in the market. So be smart about that, to follow systems such as we have at the SK system. And then try to find out, where do you want to take it? Do you want to become a trader, a day trader, someone that sits in front of the chart every day and trades? Or do you just want to have the fundamentals and the basics? Depending on what you want to learn, you can learn it. And again, don't be fooled by a YouTube video or one book and that's where you become a trader. Yes, you can learn trading by reading books and trial and error, but I would always recommend you to do it through a community, because in a community you will be supported, people will help you, and there are people that already made the mistakes that you made. You can connect, and having accountability buddies, people that hold you accountable, people that push each other, is going to help you going through the hard times of learning trading and investing. Because losing alone is hard, but losing with people together is easier. Asking people for advice and people that lift you up sometimes is very important. That sitting in front of the desktop and sitting in front of your laptop alone with anyone to help you, without anyone to guide you through all of it, because we give you all the guidance, right? So point number 5, if you learn investing and trading, please follow the right system, understand what you want out of it, and follow a system, a mentorship that really works and has proven itself and has produced a lot of successful traders, such as we did it in the last 6 to 7 years.